Greetings, bunnies and peckers, this is the Watchful Pony, and welcome back to Watchful's Watchings. Well, I'm back from BronyCon, and now it's time to get back to the episodic reviews. Which is good because I'm falling a little bit behind, I do apologize for that. I also kinda wish we were returning with a more notable episode, to say the least. Not necessarily terrible, or groan-worthy, or cringe-worthy, or anything like that, but nothing noteworthy enough to be good. But who knows, maybe I'm just remembering the episode wrong and the episode's a lot better than I remember. Let's find out as we take a look at Not Asking for Trouble.
Cook up a solution with the knowledge I've accrued. They say a kitchen time saves 9, but I'm just saving 2. I gathered the ingredients to make a time sorbet.
Our episode begins with Pinkie Pie completely and utterly freaking out. So a typical Tuesday, as she apparently has some big news that she's gonna be visiting Yaaaaaaaaaaay. How does she convince Prince Rutherford? Well, with this. Well, we're off to a good start. I'm not even joking, this first couple minutes is actually brilliant. I was laughing very hard. Not to mention, Pinkie's character is portrayed pretty well in this episode, being just annoying enough that she's actually endearing and funny. I gotta say, so far Pinkie Pie is very well written and this episode's actually pretty funny. I'm liking it so far. Anyway, Pinkie heads off with Gummy and they play a game of I Spy, and it's actually just awkward enough that it's hilarious. You know, I gotta say, I'm actually laughing a lot and I'm rather entertained. I'm actually wondering why I didn't like this episode the first time. Oh, the yaks. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah, okay, this is the point where the episode starts to very quickly go downhill for me. I'm not gonna make it a secret, I am not a fan of the yaks. At all. The little development the yaks do get is not a very flattering personality. I honestly thought they were gonna try and fix their character a lot with this little segment right here, where Prince Rutherford tricks Pinkie into thinking she broke something very valuable. I am glad that they're at least trying. That being said, I hope you enjoyed that nice little character trait because it's the last thing you're gonna see for the rest of the episode. The rest of the episode is not flattering for the yaks at all. You'll see what I mean in just a second. Anyway, Prince Rutherford finally shows Pinkie Pie around. You know, the first time I was actually rather enjoying this. Getting to see yaaaaaaaaaaay for the first time was actually pretty refreshing after how much it was teased. But upon second viewings, it kinda feels like padding. Okay, yeah, it sets up later things for the conflict later in the episode, but ultimately, it just feels like padding to me. It feels like they were trying to eat up time that they could have used for something else. Again, that's just me. Maybe other people don't feel the same way and that's fine. But speaking of that conflict, the yaks end up having so much fun that they end up covering their whole town in an avalanche. And so what's their solution? To try and dig their way out. It goes about as well as you'd expect. We do get a nice callback to Pinkie's drill main, which is a nice touch, but still it doesn't go very well. And so Prince Rutherford decides we're just gonna wait for the snow to melt. Okay, that seems incredibly stupid considering Yaaaaaaaaaaay is in the frozen north. Do frozen norths even have a melting season? Like, even during the summer, does anything melt? This is what I mean when I say that this episode really starts to go downhill, and this is what I mean when I say the episode goes extremely downhill, and it all lies on Prince Rutherford. He is an asshole. He is putting his whole people's lives in jeopardy over his pride. And that is ultimately what it boils down to, because when Pinkie Pie suggests that they could get help from the ponies, he rejects them, simply because he doesn't want help. Dude, your people are going to starve and freeze to death. I think your pride can take a little hit. Hell, even the other yaks openly state that they don't want this, but they're too afraid to stand up to him. Dude, that is some dictatorship bullcrap. I think the straw that finally broke all respect for Prince Rutherford is when he kicks Pinkie out for trying to make things right. So Pinkie goes back to the main six and decides that if Prince Rutherford won't accept help, then they'll just have to sneak the help in. But not before a repeat of the air balloon gag, which is still just as funny. And so Pinkie and the main six help Prince Rutherford and free Yaaaaaaaaaaay from the winter. And even though Prince Rutherford finds out, he actually is not mad. In fact, he actually thanks Pinkie for still helping Prince Rutherford and his people even though he asked them not to, stating that a true friend's gonna help someone despite how much they don't want help. This feels like a double-edged sword kind of moral. On one hand, in a serious situation like this, yeah, this totally does apply. Like, if you're addicted to drugs and it's gonna kill you, I don't care how much you hate me, I'm gonna drag your ass to the hospital. So I can agree to that part. The problem is I don't think it applies to everything. Remember in Sister Who's So-So when Sweetie Belle tried to fix Rarity's room? And how mad Rarity got that Sweetie Belle fixed the room? Yeah, I think that's when the moral doesn't apply. Sometimes no matter how much it may seem like it, sometimes people just flat out don't want help or don't need help. I think the story itself does do a good enough job at portraying what the moral is actually going for and what it actually applies to, but I think that extra effort or extra thing at the end to help differentiate the two could have helped a little bit. You don't have to have the yaks get super mad at her, but at the very least have her screw up so that she realizes that she can't always help with some things and probably shouldn't. Maybe leaving to even more doubt when she decides that she has to help. Just saying that a little extra effort would have helped out a little. Not to mention it also just comes off as Prince Rutherford doing nothing but trying to save his own ego and putting his own people in jeopardy. I really don't like the yaks, and I'm almost certain a lot of other people don't after this episode. But you know what? Despite everything, despite the major flaws with the story and my problems with the yaks, I'm still gonna give this a 3 out of 6. Why? And this is the important thing. Pinkie Pie saves it. I really loved Pinkie Pie in this episode, and I especially loved all the comedy revolving around her, as well as the comedy in general. It's pretty much the comedy in Pinkie Pie that saves this episode from being downright terrible. Basically, everything good she does counteracts everything bad in the episode. I'm not gonna say the episode is average, I'd say more this is a guilty pleasure episode. An episode incredibly flawed, but that I still enjoy. But enough about this episode, because next time, guys, we're finally getting an episode about Applejack's parents, and about how they met and how they fell in love. Speaking of love, I think I'm gonna need a special Sunpony to help me out with this episode. I'm the Watchful Pony, and this is Why Brony. I'll see you guys next time.
Let's beat these yoke and save my folk by breaking the fourth wall. Watch as I work my gypsy magic, see pony tears and provolone. God help this outcast with her witchcraft, someday I'm gonna go home. Someday